Hello, esteemed gentlemen. The strangest thing about getting older is realizing you became the type of man younger people study, not the type they try to impress. Most older Sigma males don't even realize this shift has happened. They wake up one day thinking they're simply living their quiet, self-contained life. Meanwhile, younger women are silently observing them like some rare, emotionally stable species National Geographic forgot to document. And here's the wild part. According to behavioral psychology, women are naturally drawn to men who display low social performance behavior combined with high emotional regulation, a profile older Sigmas carry without trying. That means the very things they consider normal or unremarkable are triggering deep curiosity, comfort, and attraction in younger women. It's not the muscles, not the money, not the cool uncle vibes, even though, let's be honest, some of you have perfected that look unintentionally. It's the invisible things, behaviors they don't exaggerate, attitudes they never announce, and an energy that younger women can feel but can't quite explain. This isn't about being flashy or impressive. It's about the quiet gravitational pull of a man who finally knows who the hell he is, and no longer performs for anyone. So in this video, we're diving into 12 brutally honest, non-cliché truths about what older Sigma males don't realize actually attracts younger women. The raw, subtle psychological stuff that makes them magnetic without even lifting a finger. Let's get into it. Number 1. They live a life that gives her room to breathe. Older Sigma. Males often live with intention, not chaos. Their days aren't filled with endless social obligations, constant notifications, or a desperate need to prove themselves. They've curated their lives over years, trimming away distractions, unnecessary drama, and obligations that don't serve them. To a younger woman, this is magnetic because she senses something rare. Space. Real, unhurried space where she isn't just another item on a crowded schedule or a temporary distraction from his chaos. This doesn't mean he's emotionally unavailable or detached. It means his life has structure, priorities, and room for meaningful connections. Younger women are constantly exposed to men who treat attention as a currency to spend recklessly. Always chasing, always performing, always desperate. When they meet an older Sigma who isn't operating from that same frantic energy, it's a shock to the system. He moves through life calmly enough that she can relax around him, feel seen, and even explore her own independence without fear of losing his attention. That breathing room is incredibly rare and surprisingly attractive. It's not about being aloof or cold. It's about self-possession. He doesn't overcommit his time, overextend his energy, or allow external pressures to dictate his mood. He exists on his own terms, which creates a gravitational effect. Younger women feel drawn in not because of theatrics or manipulation, but because they subconsciously understand that he values his life enough to live it fully, yet values her enough to include her in the spaces that matter. This space also allows for genuine curiosity and interaction. She isn't forced into a role or a scripted relationship dynamic. Conversations aren't rushed, moments aren't manufactured. Connection happens naturally because he isn't suffocating her or trying to force intimacy. She senses freedom, and freedom has a unique kind of allure. It's addictive. Older Sigma males often underestimate the power of simplicity in life. The very fact that he has space, calm, and intentionality in his existence becomes a silent magnet. It's subtle, almost invisible, yet overwhelmingly powerful. Younger women are drawn to it because it's a direct contrast to the constant noise of their world, giving them room to breathe, explore, and feel genuinely alive alongside him. Number 2, they notice what matters, not what's marketed. Older Sigma males have a radar for reality that younger men rarely develop. They see past the layers of social filters, flashy trends, and superficial attention-seeking behavior that dominate younger generations. While most men are busy chasing validation through likes, followers, or the next shiny distraction, the older Sigma is quietly observing the world with a discerning eye. He notices the little things that truly matter, subtle shifts in energy, genuine character in people, and details that reveal who someone really is. That ability to perceive depth without being intrusive or dramatic is incredibly alluring to younger women. Younger women are constantly surrounded by men who react to appearances, who chase what's hot, what's trending, or what society says they should want. They're used to men who evaluate them by surface-level criteria and then treat them like a checklist. When an older Sigma comes along, he doesn't operate that way. He doesn't get distracted by perfectly filtered photos or the latest social media hype. He evaluates people based on their authenticity, intelligence, and the energy they carry. That kind of focus is magnetic because it feels rare, almost dangerous in its honesty. It makes younger women feel understood in ways they've never experienced before. This attentiveness isn't performative. It isn't about impressing or seducing. It's about living in a reality where substance matters more than surface. Younger women sense it immediately. They feel seen, respected, and appreciated for who they are, rather than for the persona they project. It's a subtle, yet potent form of attraction because it bypasses all the usual noise and taps directly into emotional and intellectual recognition. The older Sigma's ability to notice what truly matters creates a stark contrast to the shallow interactions they're used to. It's not flashy, it's not dramatic, but it communicates one thing loud and clear. He values reality over image, depth over distraction, and substance over performance. That silent yet unwavering focus draws younger women in, making them feel both safe and challenged, understood and intrigued, in ways that younger men simply can't replicate. It's an invisible power, one that is deeply compelling and quietly irresistible. Number 3, they don't chase potential. They respond to reality. Older Sigma males have a clarity younger men rarely develop. They don't invest their time, energy, or attention into who someone could be if they tried harder or changed themselves. Instead, they interact with people as they are right now. This approach is quietly revolutionary to younger women because it bypasses all the usual pretenses, games, and illusions that dominate modern dating. She feels valued not for her potential or for a version of herself that she's still trying to build, but for who she actually is in the present moment. That kind of acceptance is intoxicating. Younger men often fall into the trap of trying to fix people, molding them to fit their ideals or fantasies. They're constantly chasing what someone might become, judging progress or encouraging transformation. The older Sigma sees through this instinctively. He recognizes what is real, what is authentic, and what can't be manufactured. He doesn't waste energy on chasing hypothetical versions of someone. He engages with the tangible, the lived reality. This grounded perspective makes him feel exceptionally rare, almost like a refuge from the chaos of aspirational dating dynamics. By responding to reality, older Sigmas create relationships that are effortless, yet profoundly deep. Younger women sense that he isn't playing games, manipulating outcomes, or creating false expectations. His interactions are honest, straightforward, and rooted in observation rather than assumption. This honesty is magnetic because it feels safe, authentic, and refreshingly free from pretense. The effect on younger women is subtle but powerful. They feel seen in their present form, appreciated without the pressure to perform, evolve, or prove themselves. That acceptance generates trust, intrigue, and a unique kind of attraction that doesn't rely on fleeting looks, status, or charm. It's rare to encounter someone who doesn't chase potential, yet recognizes value without compromise, and that rarity is what makes older Sigma males irresistible. Older Sigmas don't realize it, but by engaging with reality instead of chasing fantasy, they create a magnetic pull that younger women can't resist, a pull rooted in authenticity, clarity, and the unspoken understanding that who they are now is already enough. Number 4. They possess experienced masculine calm, not false confidence. Older Sigma males carry a calm that isn't taught in books or perfected in social media tutorials. It's earned. It's a quiet, steady presence that comes from years of navigating life, learning from mistakes, and surviving situations most people wouldn't understand. This isn't loud, performative confidence. It's something much deeper. Younger women are surrounded by men who try to act confident. Loud voices, forced bravado, exaggerated gestures. That kind of false confidence is exhausting and predictable. The older Sigma, however, radiates a calm assurance that is invisible yet profoundly felt. It communicates that he's been through life, faced challenges, and emerged unshaken, and that stability is magnetic. This calm doesn't mean he is emotionless or indifferent. It means he doesn't overreact, panic, or need constant validation. He approaches situations with measured thought and composure, and that level of self-possession makes him intriguing without him having to try. Younger women sense this instinctively. They pick up on the energy of a man who isn't constantly performing or seeking approval. It gives them a feeling of security and fascination all at once. They know they're in the presence of someone who understands himself and the world in a way most men their age simply can't. Experienced masculine calm is also powerful because it challenges the chaotic energy they're used to. Younger women often encounter men who overpromise, overcommit, or crumble under pressure. When they meet an older Sigma who can remain grounded, who doesn't need to control every situation or dominate every conversation, it stands out immediately. That kind of quiet authority commands attention without demanding it, drawing women toward him naturally. It's this rare combination of experience, emotional intelligence, and unshakable calm that makes older Sigma males secretly irresistible. They don't need to boast about their achievements or perform for anyone's approval. Their presence alone communicates confidence, mastery of self, and a depth that younger women are instinctively drawn to. It's not flashy, but it's devastatingly effective, an invisible magnet that pulls attention effortlessly, leaving younger women both curious and captivated. Number 5. They're comfortable being alone, which is rarely seen in younger men. Older Sigma males have mastered a skill that many younger men never learn, the art of being alone without feeling lonely. They don't rely on constant social stimulation, endless validation, or the approval of others to feel whole. This comfort with solitude isn't just about being physically alone. It's a mental and emotional state of independence. Younger women notice it immediately, often without realizing why. There's something magnetic about a man who doesn't need anyone to complete him because he already feels complete on his own. This kind of self-sufficiency creates a paradoxical attraction. He isn't clingy, desperate, or overbearing. He doesn't chase attention or react anxiously when she doesn't respond instantly. That absence of neediness makes him stand out like a calm island in a storm of men constantly seeking affirmation. Women are drawn to stability, and there's no stability more potent than a man who isn't tied to external validation. His presence feels safe and refreshing because it comes without pressure, manipulation, or games. Being comfortable alone also signals strength in ways younger men often fail to convey. It communicates that he has his own life, priorities, and passions that don't revolve around anyone else. He isn't performing for approval or trying to impress. He simply exists in his own energy. That independence is rare, especially in a generation of men conditioned to overshare, overconnect, and over-explain themselves. This quality also allows for authentic connection. When a younger woman engages with him, she senses that it's a choice, not a necessity. He interacts out of interest, curiosity, and genuine presence, rather than obligation or fear of being alone. That voluntary attention makes every interaction feel deliberate and valuable. The power of a man who is comfortable in his own company can't be overstated. It's an invisible strength that commands respect, intrigue, and attraction. Older Sigma males don't always realize it, but their ability to thrive alone makes them exceptionally magnetic to younger women. It's subtle, understated, and profoundly effective, a quality that captivates without trying and leaves a lasting impression that younger men rarely, if ever, can replicate. Number 6. They age into their strengths instead of running from their weaknesses. Older Sigma. Males have a rare ability that younger men often struggle to achieve. They embrace who they are, flaws and all, and let life sculpt their strengths rather than desperately hiding their weaknesses. This isn't about arrogance or pretending everything is perfect. It's about integration. Over the years, they've faced failure, rejection, and the consequences of their own mistakes. And instead of running from those moments, they've learned from them. They age into their strengths naturally, allowing experience to refine their character, judgment, and presence. Younger women notice this immediately because it's unlike anything they encounter in men their own age, who are often still pretending, masking, or performing. What makes this magnetic is the contrast it creates. Younger men are typically obsessed with image, appearances, and trying to appear flawless. They mask insecurities with bravado or cling to ideals of perfection. Older Sigma males, on the other hand, don't hide their history or their imperfections. They carry them with quiet confidence. That transparency doesn't make them less attractive. It makes them real, authentic, and deeply intriguing. Younger women are drawn to this because they instinctively sense that this man doesn't need to impress or manipulate. They see someone who has lived, adapted, and refined himself without the constant pressure of approval. By accepting their weaknesses and letting their strengths naturally emerge, older Sigmas project a sense of mastery that feels effortless. They don't need to dominate a conversation or prove their worth. They simply exist as men who have grown into their capabilities. This maturity has a magnetic effect because it signals emotional resilience, intelligence, and the kind of stability younger women crave but rarely find. It's not about perfection. It's about authenticity and evolution. They don't waste energy pretending to be someone else. Every wrinkle, every scar, every story of struggle contributes to a silent power that draws attention and admiration. Older Sigma males often underestimate this, but the truth is that aging into one's strengths while accepting one's flaws is one of the most compelling forms of attraction a man can embody, a pull that younger men simply cannot replicate. Number 7. They don't rush chemistry. They let it unfold. Older Sigma males have learned a lesson that many younger men never grasp. Real connection can't be forced. They don't push, they don't pressure, and they don't try to accelerate intimacy for the sake of excitement or validation. Instead, they allow chemistry to develop naturally, at its own pace. That patience is magnetic, because younger women are constantly surrounded by men who are in a hurry, rushing texts, rushing dates, rushing feelings. The older Sigma's unhurried approach stands out as rare, confident, and deeply attractive. This slow unfolding of connection gives younger women space to breathe and observe, to feel comfortable rather than coerced, and to engage with someone who respects the process. Every interaction feels intentional without being calculated. It communicates that he isn't chasing or anxious, and that he values genuine understanding over instant gratification. That kind of presence makes women feel safe while simultaneously intrigued, because they sense a depth and stability that they rarely encounter in their peers. By letting chemistry unfold, older Sigmas also allow curiosity and intrigue to build naturally. There's no need for dramatic gestures or over-the-top demonstrations to hold attention. Every word, glance, or action carries weight because it's measured and authentic. Younger women notice that he isn't performing or pretending, and that authenticity sparks both respect and attraction. Unlike men who try to manufacture connection, he creates an environment where emotional and intellectual bonds form effortlessly. The power of this approach is subtle but devastating. It communicates confidence, patience, and emotional intelligence without a single boast. It turns attraction into something deeper than fleeting infatuation, something lasting, magnetic, and real. The older Sigma doesn't need to force moments or chase intensity, because he understands that the strongest connections emerge naturally when both people are allowed to show up as themselves. By refusing to rush chemistry, he creates an invisible pull that younger women feel instinctively. It's calming, compelling, and rare. A silent magnet that draws attention, builds respect, and makes him unforgettable. This patience is a strength most younger men overlook, and it becomes one of the most powerful factors in why older Sigma males attract younger women. Number 8. They don't need to compete, and that calms her nervous system. One of the most underrated qualities of older Sigma males is their complete lack of need to compete for attention, validation, or status. Unlike younger men who feel the constant pressure to prove themselves through loud displays, social media clout, or exaggerated achievements, older Sigmas operate from a place of quiet self-assurance. They understand their value without needing others to confirm it. To younger women, this is magnetic because it creates a sense of calm, stability, and safety that they rarely experience in their dating lives. Younger women are often surrounded by chaos, men who are constantly vying for recognition, comparing themselves to peers, and trying to outdo one another. This hyper-competitive energy is draining, and it subconsciously signals insecurity and instability. When an older Sigma enters the room, he doesn't participate in the games. He doesn't feel the need to dominate conversations, boast about accomplishments, or prove his worth. That absence of competition acts like a calming force, allowing younger women to relax emotionally and mentally. It's not just about being attractive. It's about creating an environment where she doesn't feel the constant pressure to impress or defend herself. This quality also conveys confidence in a subtle, irresistible way. A man who doesn't compete demonstrates that he's comfortable in his own skin, that he isn't easily threatened, and that he doesn't rely on external validation to feel powerful. Younger women are drawn to this because it's the opposite of the frantic energy they're used to. It feels rare, almost luxurious, a chance to experience connection without tension, jealousy, or unnecessary drama. Older Sigma males often underestimate this power. They think their lack of performance is neutral or unnoticeable, when in reality, it's a quiet magnet that draws younger women closer. By not competing, they create a space of psychological comfort and subtle intrigue. That calm authority signals maturity, emotional stability, and confidence, which makes younger women not only notice them, but also trust and feel genuinely drawn to them. In a world full of chaos and competition, the ability to simply exist without competing is one of the most powerful forms of attraction. Number 9, they radiate stability without being controlling. Older Sigma. Males possess a rare kind of presence that younger women find magnetic: stability without domination. They move through life with calm, measured energy, and this steadiness isn't forced or performative. It's not about controlling situations or people. It's about being unshakable, composed, and reliable in a world that constantly demands attention and chaos. Younger women notice this immediately because it contrasts sharply with the volatility and drama they often encounter from men their own age. His stability signals that he can handle life's unpredictability, which creates a sense of safety and intrigue that is hard to resist. This quality doesn't make him boring or predictable. On the contrary, it amplifies his allure. Younger women are drawn to men who can remain composed under pressure, who respond rather than react, and who provide a sense of security without suffocating control. They can be themselves around him without fear of judgment, manipulation, or emotional volatility. That freedom, paired with his calm energy, creates a psychological pull that is both soothing and addictive. Stability without control also communicates confidence in a subtle, understated way. He doesn't need to assert dominance to command respect. He doesn't micromanage, nag, or dictate how things should go. Instead, his presence alone communicates strength, maturity, and mastery of self. Younger women instinctively pick up on this energy, recognizing that he operates from a place of inner security rather than insecurity disguised as power. What makes this even more captivating is that older Sigma males often don't even realize the effect they have. They may view their calm and measured approach as normal or unremarkable, yet it creates a gravitational pull. Younger women are drawn not only to the safety and reliability he represents, but also to the quiet intrigue of a man who doesn't need to control anything to be influential. His energy allows connection to develop naturally, making him irresistibly magnetic in ways that flashy confidence or over-the-top gestures never could. Stability without control is subtle, rare, and extraordinarily attractive. Number 10. They don't care about social currency, and that's rare. Now older Sigma males have a freedom younger women find irresistible. They aren't tied to social approval. While most men spend their lives chasing likes, followers, status symbols, or the approval of people they barely know, older Sigmas operate on their own terms. They make decisions based on principles, curiosity, or personal priorities, not on how others will perceive them. That disinterest in external validation is magnetic because it's so rare, especially in a generation obsessed with clout and social performance. Younger women notice it immediately. They sense that he's authentic, unpressured, and untouchable by the social games everyone else seems trapped in. This lack of concern for social currency doesn't make him detached or uninterested. It makes him genuinely present. He doesn't brag about accomplishments, post to impress, or measure worth by popularity. Instead, he lives life with quiet independence, and that freedom creates an invisible aura of confidence. Younger women are drawn to it because it signals that he's self-sufficient, grounded, and trustworthy. They feel that his attention and interest are earned, not given based on societal expectations, which makes them value it even more. What makes this trait extraordinary is the contrast it creates. In a world where people are constantly performing for likes, attention, and approval, a man who doesn't care is a psychological anomaly. He doesn't compete for social standing, doesn't gossip, and doesn't try to impress the crowd. He simply exists in his truth, and that makes him seem both rare and powerful. Younger women pick up on this instinctively. They can sense who operates from image and who operates from substance. Older Sigma males often underestimate the effect of this. They think not caring about social validation is neutral or invisible, but in reality, it's profoundly attractive. Younger women are magnetically drawn to men who operate beyond the superficial rules of society. This freedom from social pressure allows him to be fully himself, interact without pretense, and cultivate a type of attraction that is natural, deep, and impossible to replicate by men who are constantly chasing external approval. Number 11. They carry real-world competence. Women didn't grow up seeing older Sigma males have a form of attractiveness that younger women rarely encounter: real-world competence. They aren't impressive because of flashy degrees, trendy skills, or curated social media personas. They're impressive because they can actually handle life. They can fix things, solve problems, think on their feet, and navigate situations that most people would panic in. Younger women growing up in a world dominated by virtual expertise and surface-level performance are instinctively drawn to this kind of tangible capability. It signals that he can take care of himself and, when necessary, handle challenges that go beyond the ordinary. This competence isn't about showing off. It's about capability without ego. He doesn't need to prove anything because his skills speak for themselves. Whether it's repairing something broken, managing complex situations calmly, or providing practical solutions when everyone else is floundering, he operates with a quiet mastery. Younger women pick up on this almost subconsciously. They sense that he is self-reliant, resourceful, and unshaken by unexpected obstacles. That awareness creates a deep, almost primal sense of trust and attraction. What makes this extraordinary is how different it feels compared to what they normally see. Most younger men rely on appearances, virtual achievements, or borrowed authority to seem competent. The older Sigma doesn't need any of that. His experience and skill are built from reality, from doing, failing, learning, and mastering over time. That reality-based capability makes him stand out effortlessly. The subtle power of this attraction is profound. Younger women are drawn not just to what he can do, but to what it represents: stability, intelligence, and the confidence that comes from knowing he can navigate life's unpredictability. They sense that he doesn't need to exaggerate, perform, or impress, and that his presence is reliable in ways most men their age simply aren't. Older Sigma males often underestimate this magnetism. They think competence is practical, not seductive, but in truth, it is one of the most powerful forms of attraction. It combines security, respect, and intrigue into a package that younger women find both reassuring and irresistible, a rare and deeply compelling draw that is almost impossible to replicate artificially. Number 12. They're immune to beauty manipulation. Older Sigma males have a rare quality that younger women find irresistible. They cannot be swayed by superficial beauty, attention, or flirtation. While younger men often fall into predictable patterns, chasing looks, responding to charm, or letting surface-level attraction dictate their behavior, older Sigmas see beyond that. Their judgment isn't clouded by appearances or performance. It's rooted in substance, intuition, and experience. This immunity makes them magnetic because it communicates something younger women rarely encounter. They are valued for who they truly are, not for how well they perform or how they look. This doesn't make older Sigma males cold or detached. It makes them discerning. They don't hand out attention or validation freely, and they don't get caught up in fleeting excitement. They respond to authenticity, consistency, and intelligence, rather than the temporary thrill of physical beauty or social seduction. Younger women sense this immediately. There's a quiet intensity in a man who cannot be manipulated through charm alone, a gravity that commands respect without demanding it. This makes interactions feel real, meaningful, and rare, qualities that are incredibly attractive in a world dominated by shallow approval. Being immune to beauty manipulation also gives him an aura of control without coercion. He isn't dominating or possessive. He simply isn't easily influenced. That detachment from superficial validation allows younger women to feel a sense of challenge and intrigue. They can't buy his attention or predict his reactions, and that unpredictability, rooted in discernment, rather than ego, creates a magnetic tension that draws them in. What makes this extraordinary is how rare it is. Most men react reflexively to beauty, charm, or flirtation, often inflating attraction or misjudging worth. The older Sigma, however, remains steady and grounded, and that steadiness signals maturity, confidence, and genuine power. Women feel both safe and tested around him. Safe because he isn't manipulative or erratic, and tested because they can't rely on superficial tactics to gain favor. This combination is intoxicating, creating an invisible pull that is subtle, sophisticated, and deeply compelling, a form of attraction that younger men, obsessed with surface-level approval, almost never achieve. In the end, what makes older Sigma males so magnetic to younger women isn't a single trait, a flashy skill, or some rehearsed charm. It's the subtle combination of depth, experience, and authenticity. It's the quiet confidence that doesn't need to compete, the calm presence that doesn't demand control, and the freedom to live life on their own terms. It's the ability to see people as they truly are, to respond to reality rather than fantasy, and to let connection unfold naturally without rushing or forcing it. Every small decision, every deliberate action, every ounce of self-possession adds up to a presence that is irresistible, because it's real, rare, and unshakably grounded. Younger women aren't drawn to what they can superficially manipulate. They're drawn to what they can genuinely respect, admire, and feel safe around. An older Sigma male embodies that rare combination of independence, competence, and emotional intelligence. He isn't performing for approval, chasing validation, or following trends. He is magnetic simply because he exists fully as himself, uncompromised and unfiltered. That is the kind of attraction that doesn't fade with time, that doesn't rely on theatrics, and that leaves a lasting impression on everyone who crosses his path. If you've watched this video and felt the pull of these traits, it's time to reflect on how they apply to your own life. Whether you're an older Sigma male wanting to understand your unique appeal, or someone curious about the psychology behind attraction, these insights reveal truths that go far beyond the clichés, beyond the superficial, and deep into what genuinely connects humans on a profound level. So if you found this video valuable, insightful, and eye-opening, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Hit the like button to show your support, share it with friends who need to hear these truths, and leave a comment below with your thoughts, experiences, or questions. Every interaction helps us bring more of this high-value, brutally honest, and exceptional content straight to you. Don't miss out. Join the community, engage, and elevate your understanding of Sigma dynamics today.